Hi guys, this is Dia and welcome to Mom and Me. So today I decided that I want to do some meal preps and I want to take you along with the process, the entire process, how I do meal prep, what steps I follow, and I think this video is going to be very useful. So stay tuned till the end and let's get started with the video. So, where do we start? So, basically, there are various methods of doing meal prep. Different cultures do it differently. I have seen so many people making or cooking the entire meals, pack it into 5 boxes, and use it like Monday to Friday. But the downside is that you have to eat the same meals over the whole week. It gets monotonous, and after 2 days, I guess the food doesn't even taste as good. How I like to do is I like to prep only the ingredients and then use those ingredients to cook my main meal. So I do cook all the days of the week, but this meal prep is going to save me at least 5 to 7 hours of cooking time each week. And you know what? It's not just the cooking time, it's also the post cooking cleanup dishes, and it saves you a lot of mess as well. So there's lots of benefits of meal planning and prepping. So where do you get started? I guess the first step of meal planning and prepping is actually thinking about very roughly. You don't have to have like an entire week's menu that Monday I'll be cooking this for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Tuesday I'll be cooking this for breakfast, lunch, dinner. You don't have to get into all those nitty-gritty. You can like very roughly think of the things, 4 or 5 items that you want to cook over the coming week, and then have the ingredients in your mind and go grocery shopping. You can actually prepare a meal plan, the meal menu, and then make a grocery list out of it, like if you have that much of time or if you're super duper organized, and then you can take the grocery list to the shopping center. But what I do is I just end up to the grocery store and I buy everything seasonal fruits, seasonal vegetables, and I just buy them, come follow my steps of meal prep, and then store them and then cook the food as per what I have. So whatever way you choose, all you need to do is have groceries on hand. So your fresh produce and your pantry supplies. So now let me show you what all groceries have I bought for this week. So this is all the groceries or the fresh produce that I have for this week. So I have some green beans, I have broccoli, 2 florets of broccoli. I have carrots. I have heaps of ginger. As I say that I like to grind, cube them and deep freeze them for my easy morning chai. Then I have eggplant. I want to make the bangan ka bharta or ringan no oro. And then I have coriander and mint. Any guesses what I'm going to make with it? I know it's green chutney. And then I have some beetroot and avocado, shallots. Now shallots, I won't use it much because I am going to make the ringer no oro. I always buy shallots, but I don't use it all. I probably use half of it, and there are not many recipes that I actually use it with. I use it with the eggplant. I also use it with um, when I'm making hakka noodles for kids, but that's about it. So what I do is I finally wash it, finally chop it, and deep freeze it. So I have it for next few weeks. It does last few weeks for sure. Then I have tomatoes here, and I sometimes make tomato gravy or tomato puree, and without adding any water. But I'm not doing it this week. Then this is capsicum, and then methi. Methi is in season, so it's very nice, fresh and fragrant. So I'm gonna make something out of methi as well. Then I do have my regular produce, which is potatoes, which I have actually soaked in water. Then there on the rack, I have garlic, sweet potatoes, and onions, and that's about it. So once you have your fresh produce, what is the step number one? Step number one is to wash, cut, and store. Now, this is the step that if you do religiously every week, then half of your cooking issues and problems are all sorted. Because what actually delays cooking process is washing and cutting. So if you're busy and you haven't got the time to wash and cut, then you cannot start your cooking process, right? Many times it has happened to me that if I wish I had some cut vegetables, I would get the cooking started. So if you get this step done every weekend, then I guess your half of the problem is solved. So wash, cut, and store properly. So once you have done step number 1, then you can jump on to step number 2 if you want to take your meal prep to level 2. So what you can do is you can boil, steam, or roast. You can boil some vegetables, you can steam, or you can roast whatever you want to roast, depending on what recipes you're going to cook. So today I am going to boil potatoes because I know I will be making some nice recipes over the coming week. So I'm going to boil potatoes enough for 2 recipes. I am going to steam some veggies and then I'm going to roast them. Now I'm going to steam them in my steamer on the cooktop, but then I'm going to roast them in the air fryer. I am going to also roast eggplant, but that will be in the oven. So what I'm trying to say here is use as many appliances as you can just to save you time, because you don't want to spend entire day just for the meal prep, because that will drain you. And that's not the whole point of meal prep, to drain excessively on day 1 and then have rest over the week. So you have to consider the amount of time that you're putting in, and how you can reduce the time is by using different appliances, and that's where the kitchen appliances come into play. So I am going to use my grinder, my oven, my air fryer, my gas cooktop, everything at the same time, so that I'm saving time and energy. So now you've done 2 steps. The first step was wash, cut, and store, and the second one was boil, roast, or steam. Now, if you want to take your meal prepping even a little more further or to the next step, then it is soaking. Soaking what? You can soak lentils, legumes, dosa batter, or moong, and then you can sprout them. So all this soaking. Now what I'm trying to do is I am going to meal prep today. So cutting today, it will take a lot of time. Then I'm going to boil and roast some ingredients. So that will also take time. But the soaking, I'm not going to grind anything today. So this will go on to the next day. That means you are actually deferring this process, the meal prepping process, to day number 2, and then you can use it over the week. So it's not like you have to do the meal prep on one day extensively and then rest. No, meal prep is something, it's a process, it goes on. So I'm going to soak some ingredients which I will be prepping tomorrow. Step number 4 is to build up your freezer stock items. Now, what I mean by this is that, say for example, you're making green chutney for the coming week. I would say make double the amount and then store half in the fridge and make cubes and refrigerate, deep freeze it for the next week. So this way you are building up a little bit of stock in your freezer. Now you can do this with green chutney, lemon cubes. You can do it with date tamarind chutney or ginger garlic cubes. You can also do, many people like to do the pre-made gravy. They make the chunk or cubes of it and then refrigerate it, deep freeze it. So you can build up a freezer stock item, which will be, trust me, it's very helpful in the time of the needs. I especially like to make ginger cubes and defreeze them and then use it every morning, because I don't like to use mortar and pestle every morning at 6:30 a.m. when my kids are sleeping. I would just take 2 cubes of ginger, chuck it into the chai, and the chai is ready. So saves me not only time but hassle as well. In past, whenever I've done meal prep or meal plan videos, I have always wished to show the entire process from start to the end, which means that I wanted to show from the grocery shopping to washing, cutting, meal prepping, and then storing them, and then over the week what recipes I have done based on the meal preps. But you know what? Never ever have I done that, because after a point, filming everything that we are cooking becomes very cumbersome or hassle. But this time, I have decided that I am going to do it. Fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx myself. But today I am only going to show the meal prep, and then I'm going to shoot the entire week, and I'll see you after the week to show you what dishes have I cooked based on this meal prep of today. So I'm going to see you after 1 week.
So, guys, this is a quick recap of all the meal preps that I did on day one, plus ginger and green chutney cubes that are in the deep freeze right now. I did some preps on day two as well. I feel so mentally relaxed if I'm planning for my meals a day or two in advance and not on the day of the cooking. Having few items in the fridge gives me stress-free mental state, and to be honest, I do not like to spend my whole time in the kitchen cooking or cleaning. Rather, I'd go to the gym, meet my friend, and focus on my physical and mental health too. So on day 2, I made dosa batter, date tamarind chutney that will last me at least few months because I made a big batch of it. I also made some kesar pista milk and methi vadas for my kids' school next day, and finally I boiled some ragda chana. And this concludes all the meal preps I have to do for this week, and now let's see how it helped me over the entire week. Morning chai. My husband and I, we love our ginger chai in the morning, and these ginger cubes are my go to make my morning chai. It is such a hassle free and quick process each morning that I am addicted to making ginger cubes enough to last me a fortnight. Monday. So as you saw, I did some preps for school time, like I made kesar pista milk and methi vadas, both of which are my kids' favorite, but it takes time to make. So making them in the morning is not an option. So advanced preps help a lot. Plus I have roasted veggies and boiled potatoes, from which I made aloo parathas, and here is day one kids lunchbox. Aloo paratha with roasted veggies, vadas and mandarins. On weekdays, my lunch is whatever kids take to school, as I do not like to cook separately for myself. I am barely home, to be honest, after I drop them to school, so I need something quick and homemade for my lunch. For dinner, I made ragda patties. I had everything that I needed. Boiled potatoes for the patties. I only had to season the boiled chanas, and I also have the fresh green chutney and date tamarind chutney to go with it. So it was as easy as bringing all the preps together to get the dinner sorted. I packed the same for my husband's next day lunch as well. I made this big batch of date tamarind chutney so that I do not have to worry about making it over and over again, and this will easily last me 3 to 4 months, and it tastes 1,000 times better than the store-bought ones. So let's jump to Tuesday. I decided to roast some moong sprouts for my kids' school lunchbox and also air fry some sweet potato chips. The moong was not fully sprouted as it's winter here, so I will leave it on the countertop for yet another day for them to be fully sprouted. For dinner, I made green beans with roti while I was busy making my kids do their school homework. In the evenings, if I'm busy cutting and chopping, then my kids are busy playing and ignoring their homework, which takes a backseat. So with a little bit of planning, both things can be achieved. For Wednesday, I quickly made a big batch of besan chilla. I will pack them for school lunchbox and my lunch too. I like to load them with veggies like capsicum, tomato, onions, heaps of coriander, salt and red chili powder, and sometimes I add moong sprouts too. This goes in the school lunchbox with some fruits, and kids ask for some sweet, so there they go. Few choco fingers too. For dinner, I quickly made paneer pulao. I was planning to make bangan ka bharta, but kids said no. Every time I want to make it, they just deny it. So I will do it over the weekend, change in plan. I always buy at least 500 grams of paneer for each week that I include in some form. Sometimes I make kadhai paneer, sometimes palak paneer, sometimes paneer bhuji, sometimes paneer butter masala, and today it is paneer pulao. For Thursday's kids' lunchbox, I decided to make semolina dhokla, suji dhokla, and my recipe is very simple. Add some green chutney, sesame seeds, cashews, salt, yogurt, and little eno, and lastly temper with curry leaves, mustard, and sesame seeds again. For dinner, I made dosa as my dosa batter was so nicely fermented, and I was it too. For dinner, I made dosa as my dosa batter was so nicely fermented and I wanted to use it while it's still fresh. Friday for school lunchbox, I quickly made paneer wrap. I actually didn't film this one, but luckily I had the recipe shot from a while ago. So here is how I did. I made the marinade using yogurt, green chutney, ginger garlic paste, garam masala and chaat masala, and marinated the paneer. In the morning, I roasted few pieces on tawa and made the wrap. Wrap was again very straightforward. I used a mixture of green chutney and yogurt and added paneer and salad and folded the wrap, and healthy and yummy lunch is ready. But yeah, I had to take care that I'm not adding too much of green chutney or yogurt. Otherwise, my kids complain that the wrap is turning soggy. So yeah, just keep that in mind if in case you want to make this. It's Friday night and it's family movie night after kids' swim lesson. So I decided to make nachos, and here is quick recipe. I used canned black beans and cooked it in canned tomato sauce. On the side, I made avocado guacamole and chopped veggies and assembled them on corn chips with melted cheese, and ta-da, nachos are ready. Easy peasy. So finally, it's Saturday, and kids decided they wanted to eat burger. So I quickly boiled potatoes with some carrots and green peas. All together, I boiled it, added ginger garlic paste and garam masala, and made patties. I had frozen green chutney on hand, which helped a lot. For dinner, I made ringan no oro finally. I was planning to make it on the weekdays initially, but kids didn't want to eat it, so I had to delay this one. But it turned out well as my husband preferred it with garam garam rotlas and as compared to eating it at the workplace.
So guys, I wrap up my video here. Do let me know if this video was helpful. Do let me know if you would like to see more of such videos. And you know the best way to do it is by liking this video. It really means a lot for every YouTuber, not just me, but for everyone who's making the videos. Give it a like, and that means you're supporting them financially, of course, yes, emotionally, and in all ways. Anyways, do give this video a like, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye for now.